Okay, hi. We're son of Zato. What we did, let's start with the what. What we did is an iPhone game for the visually impaired and for the blind. Some of you already experienced the live demo that we did. In a short moment, we'll show a demonstration film that we made. In the demonstration film that you'll see in a minute, you see a blind guy. Well, it's Boris, but he's a blind guy. He starts the initial system. He hears the monsters. It's his old sound. He aims at the monsters and shoots them. Okay, we have a parameter around him that the system automatically creates. It's all, of course, augmented. He aims at the monsters, he hears them, as some of you experienced, and he kills them. And think of this. Another guy can join in Nablus, play the same game. So same game, different location, different players. Okay, so this is the what. Okay, game for the blind. Brings us to the why. Okay, leave aside the whole goodwill. There's actual need that is not answered. We have a target audience that want to play games. We all want to play games. Blind and visually impaired, they want to play games as well. But iPhone games have, the more they rely on visual, the less they aim to our target audience. Okay, so what we do is we use sound as the main interface, as the main experience. We do not lose the experience. The experience is as intensive, and we actually give the blind or visually impaired, we give him some advantage. Okay, so this is the why. Now we're going to hear why the business model behind it.
Okay, thanks.
Karen.
Okay, so we see that the need is there, but if we look at the market, it's blind people, iPhone, touchscreen, doesn't really go well together. So apparently the demand from this segment pushed Apple to implement accessibility features and make this accessible for the blind. So we can see a title posted on ZDNet a month ago that says that Apple iPhone has become phone of choice for the blind. We see a quote from an interview with Paul Schrader from the American Foundation for the Blind, which says, "You can't go anywhere without seeing iPhones in the hands of blind people." So of course it's not going to happen in a few days. It's going to take maybe a few months, but it's certainly going to happen. And we plan to be there. And we're going to take the advantage of being the first mover, since there is no real competition today and there aren't really games for the blind. We're going to take this advantage and make our application a paid one and win this segment. And what I mean by that, if you remember, maybe two years ago, you were willing to pay like $3 for a silly application that only moves a glass of beer on your screen. So silly, maybe, but we were enthusiastic back then. And today, since the blind people don't have other applications, we expect them to be enthusiastic as well with new applications, and our game is a very good application for them. So we expect them to pay. So our business model relies actually on this paid application. These are really rough numbers for this first phase. This game is only the first phase, and we expect from the US market only to get more than $2 million revenues. Looking at the numbers, worldwide there are more than 300 million blind and visually impaired people. 56 million out of these are under the age of 50. And in the USA alone, there are more than 19 million people that are blind or visually impaired under the age of 64. So taking from this number only the US market and only the relevant age for this game, and only those that will have iPhone, we're getting to more than $2 million revenues for this application. But again, this is only for the first phase. Let's look first how we get to this target market. So the blind people have their communities, they have big centers. You can see Avi here is a blind guy. He's working not far from here in the Nalagat Center. We visited there, and he was quite skeptic about our game when we told him about it. But when we showed him the sound effect, the technology. He was quite enthusiastic. You can see him pointing to the sound direction. So we believe we can get to this market. Just to sum up, again, this is our first phase, and our real target here is the next phase, is getting to this whole market by using already the knowledge we have with this technology. We already have this market, and we plan to create more effective and useful applications for this market, like navigation using this sound effect. That's it. This is our great team.
All right, Zato.